I mean, it was funny as hell. And when he's one-on-one people, the confused looks that people get when he's talking to them, because he'll glom onto a question and just ask that question over and over until he gets an answer, and he kind of plays dumb. I don't know. He's an interesting fellow. So, hey, good morning, Jaeger Pony. I didn't, and hi, Lord Rothschild. I answered you, but I didn't say hello. So, all right. So let's get into the Vox Adpocalypse 2.0. Oh, wait a minute. I got some notifications here. Okay. By the way, good morning. Thank you. Thanks, Rolly Bear and Sarah and everyone who's tweeting out and notifying people of the stream right now. By the way, also, and I'll remind you right now, while you're here, if you're here, while you're in the chat, click that little like button down there. Go ahead and do that now, and also the share button if you haven't done so, or if you have, someplace social media like to share things. And also, if you'd like to do super chats and make sure I say something that you want me to hear or want everyone else to hear, make sure that you can use the super chat link, which is in the description down below via Streamlabs. Oh, about that monetization thing too. I the only reason I would try to monetize my YouTube channel is to be able to make the super chat function easier. But I think there's a third party version I think might be possible to use. I'm looking into that one takes less of the money from you and actually it doesn't censor the chat as much either, which I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm going to try some different things and we'll see what goes on there. All right, let's get into our main number one FTG of the day. I'm sure you know who it is. If you've been Nightbot. Oh, is that what it is? Let's see. HB. Oh yeah, HB uses. Yeah, I know he uses a third-party one too. You can set Nightbot to auto shill. Oh yeah, I've never used Nightbot either. I that's one of those things haven't jumped on as far as technical. Also, but the other thing about Nightbot also, it was funny because I don't remember, someone uses that. And I had written a chat in all caps, and Nightbot automatically warned me against spam messages. I'm like, dude, I'm not spam. I didn't. That was before I knew that Nightbot wasn't a person. So anyway, hello, Richo. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're well. Anyway, all right. So let's get into. All I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into the hashtag. We're just gonna go straight into the hashtag first, and that would be the Vox Adpocalypse. And our FTG of the day just happens to be right at the top. Oh no, you own this, Carlo Mazza. Oh, so Carlos Mazza tries blaming YouTube for Vox Adpocalypse, but ain't nobody letting him off the hook. Now this is the Twitchy. Twitchy is kind of aggregator of YouTube stuff, or it's not YouTube. I'm sorry, aggregator of Twitter things, and they have a conservative bent to them. They're clearly conservatives who run the site, kind of making fun of people who do things on the Twitters. Real quick, I do have. Let's see. Good morning, Kevin. Kevin, thank you so much for the $5 super chat via the Streamlabs link in the description. Did you like my article on social media free elections in Africa? Your thoughts? You know what? I didn't. I'm not sure if I read the article, that same article. I know that. We'll get into that. We'll get into that one later. Thank you for reminding me of that, though, because I did want to mention that. In fact, if you could do me a favor, I'm gonna. Maybe it's in my. I think it's in my inbox. If you want to send, if you can send it to me again, we can go over it at the end of this stream, because I wanted to talk about that when you sent it to me and I forgot to do that. All right. So anyway, back to Carlos Mazza. Okay. As Twitchy readers know, unless you live under a rock, and this current political environment, who could blame you? Vox's Carlo Mazza took it upon himself to go after Steven Crowder's YouTube channel because he got his fifis hurt. Now, the whole thing is fascinating. I know all of you probably all know the story. Hey, Pat, how you doing? Good morning. And Cracked, how you doing? At first, YouTube C decided with Crowder, calling it a debate of sorts, but then after more belly aching, crying, gnashing of teeth, and tantrum throwing by Mazza, they demonetized Crowder. Oh, and when they did, they went ahead and demonetized a bunch of other channels because they didn't want to be giant hypocrites or something. So to recap, a Vox journalist may have literally destroyed the careers of dozens of YouTubers just to try and silence Crowder. Now, it may... That sentence is pretty much how all the people on YouTube feel, that, it's because of Mazza. I disagree with that sentiment. This has been coming down the pike since January. I know the algorithm that they just implemented this weekend. I know that they've been working on that since January. If you go in to read some of the YouTube insider stuff, they have been planning on this for a long time. And I don't even think it's necessary. This incident really was just an excuse to roll it out a little earlier than they had planned. Because, and the thing about Mazza, I know I'm kind of not finishing thoughts anywhere here. Hello, Mr. Dax. And hi, welcome back, Necro. I know you were here earlier. I gave you a bell for being first. YouTube was already ready to do this, and I think this just pushed them to do it now. And Mazza, if you know anything about Mazza, Carlos Mazza used to work for Media Matters for America, and so he knows all the tactics that they use to get their propaganda, so to speak, into the media. So you notice the media that jumped on it first. Well, obviously it was Mazza's own feed himself, and he talked for it. He's been talking about it nonstop for what, 6 days now? 6 days. But then it went to The Verge, which is owned by Fox. Then you see the Washington Post. Then you see Time. Then you see all these legacy media outlets talking about it now. Now it's in the New York Times, and they notice if you read every single article, they all pretty much use the exact same talking points, and that is Mazza using his Media Matters, what he learned from Media Matters, his Media Matters contact lists. He knows how to push this, and so he used and if you notice too, a lot of the words that you hear are incorrect factually, but they make they make for the perfect narrative to make this about YouTube being a terrible place, and YouTube's having their own problems right now. YouTube is part of Google, which is right now being investigated for antitrust issues. And, YouTube's having and plus YouTube's been hemorrhaging money. Still, they still haven't made a profit in YouTube, and they've been around 10, 12 years? No, longer than that. 2006, 2000. Yeah, they've been around 15 years. And they're not making a profit, and their market cap is down, and they're, everything they do, they don't do it for you. They're nuts. And so they're walking that razor's edge. And originally they thought, oh well, we're gonna appease this dude, by what? Saying, okay, we'll take away his monetization. And that doesn't Carlos Mazza wants them gone. Wants Crowder gone. He doesn't care who else is in it, caught up in it. So, let's see here. Logan was the same. Okay, so you guys are in here talking about people who've been demonetized. Sinatra, Tailed Feature. Kevin Logan's been on YouTube shit list for a while too, though, because he gets plenty of complaints. Not because, and I don't think. Let me get this straight. I don't agree with Kevin Logan or anything, but damn it, I don't think he deserves to be kicked off either. I don't think any of these people do. YouTube is going to have some problems, and I think the problem is especially with Crowder, because Crowder has his lawyer bill that goes in and fights all these different cases, and the problem, I think, is if this is how it's going to work with YouTube, somebody eventually is going to sue them for defamation that came from one of their content creators. And that's because now they are making themselves into a publishing company and not a social open platform. And so, the special laws, the special FCC laws, or whatever it is that makes a distinction between a publisher and a platform, are going to come into effect pretty soon. I think that's going to happen with Facebook too. I think it's going to happen with Twitter too. Although Twitter is a little bit less. They don't necessarily manage the content the same way. They do manage people the same way, but the content it's generally not for content. Generally, it's for abusive. What do you call it? Behavior. Facebook and YouTube seem to be doing it as far as content, because really, if you look at, anyway, let's get back into this article. Most YouTubers are understandably very angry with Mazza, but Ford Fisher has other thoughts. This is Ford Fisher. He's an independent journalist. This attack on independent journalists who film track extremism is not without precedent. Sandy Backham has been banned from Twitter since covering right-wing groups, where Twitter accused her of posting hate symbols that she documented. Yeah, a lot of these people, some of these people are people who go out and monitor the people that YouTube least wants on their platform. Ford has been demonetized as well, just FYI. I want to clarify for the record that this is not Gaywonk's fault. Gaywonk is Carlos Mazza. And I don't want people harassing him for what happened to me. YouTube did the purge, censoring, demonetization, perhaps in response to him, but these byproducts and errors on their part were YouTube, not him. So he's blaming it on YouTube. And then while we feel for Ford Fisher, YouTube would never have done this on their own. And only after Mazza threw the temper tantrum to end all temper tantrums did they start demonetizing these folks. So yeah, it's Mazza's fault. Yeah, partially, but I think YouTube for sure was on their way. And then Mazza said, even though we've tried really hard to put the blame, he tried to put the blame back on YouTube. What's happening to Ford is fucking awful. He's a good journalist doing important work. I don't understand how YouTube is still so bad at this. How can they not differentiate between white supremacist content and good faith reporting on white supremacists? Well, first of all, Carlos chooses his, I don't know if he chooses his words carefully, but this is one of those things that I was talking about. Carlos knows how to word things to get the most effect. So really, he's having a fight with Steven Crowder. He says this, how can they not differentiate between white supremacist content? Well, right now the biggest boogeyman in the United States is white supremacy and white nationalists and Nazis and all that bullshit. So what did he just do here? He just called Steven Crowder a white supremacist. So now people who don't know shit from Adam, they're all thinking, oh, wait, he's having this big fight with Steven Crowder, white supremacist? I didn't know he was a white supremacist. Oh, so now that's the dog whistle to who? That's the dog whistle to The Verge and The Washington Post and The New York Times and Newsweek and Time and all these other outlets that just don't know shit. Steven Crowder. Yeah, no, that's just it. No, he's not. The question, Crowder's a white supremacist? No, he's not. And yes, Dax, there's people who got hit because the algorithm doesn't understand context. I was having a conversation with someone who was talking about the first time the adpocalypse happened, and a bunch of LGBT people got demonetized, or had things happen to their channels, and they were saying, yeah, the one guy, I can't remember his name, but he had trans in his video title, and it was not monetized, so he re-uploaded it and took trans out of the title, and then it was monetized. Okay, and I laughed because I also remember during that time that there were some video about a health video talking about trans fats, and that video got demonetized. And there was another video that was talking about transportation in the title, and that video got demonetized because they just put the word that they had the 4 letters in sequence, trans, and so a bunch of videos that had nothing to do with transgenderism got demonetized too. So yeah, you're right. Algorithms do not understand context. An algorithm cannot determine sarcasm. An algorithm cannot determine comedy. So if you're talking about sexuality and you're on a LGBT channel, it doesn't know if you're an advocate or an adversary to whatever they're talking about. The year is 1984. We are witnessing the unpersoning of wrong things. It started with the black sheep Alex Jones. It's now coming to smaller YouTuber creators, starting with mass demonetizations. Thank you, Seamus Derby. No, I don't think. No, Crowder's a Christian. Crowder's not Jewish. Yeah. Oh, I see. Pat. No, yeah. No, he's not. He's not Jewish. He's Christian. Anyway, and it's that, and they're not silencing people for white supremacy. Guess this is how it went for Miles and Ben. Yeah, it's pretty horrible, but at least you feel better, right? Oh, what's happening to Ford is okay. That's right. But yeah, he spent the last few days, demanding YouTube start taking people down. Let's see, Kira, this is what happened. You thought conservative Twitter were being hysterical, but we understand this system a lot better than you do. We try to tell you how this works. Free speech works by letting stuff you don't like stand. Otherwise, you get this. Congrats, Gay Walker. They're talking about Ford Fisher getting his channel demonetized. And there was even a professor, I can't remember the professor's name, who he's a professor who had videos of historic speeches, historic events, like a lot of newsreel stuff. But a couple of those speeches were speeches by Hitler and some other, Nazis or whatever. His channel got taken down completely. Now, since then, they have restored the channel. But yeah, so anyway. That is, I don't even know I want to talk more about him. Let's go back here real quick. We'll come back to the hashtag. So let's see what other people are saying here. Dan Bongino, why is Team YouTube aligning with Carlos Maza, a violent leftist who has called for physical attacks on conservatives? Yeah, this needs to be thrown in their faces. And I'm curious as to why this guy's even still on Twitter. He is publicly encouraging people to assault other people. Now, granted, it's a milkshake, something innocuous, but is it, if someone in a public place throws a milkshake on you, is that a chargeable offense of assault? Absolutely, it is. So yeah, milkshake them all, humiliate them at every turn, make them dread public organizing. Yeah, so I don't know, and he's pretty much blocking anyone who even remotely argues with him. Now I'm surprised I did not get blocked by him. And in fact, let's see, maybe it's possible I could be now. Let's see, let's go Carlos Maza. All right, let's see. Is it's funny. Okay, Gay Walk. Nope, he hasn't blocked me yet. Now but I think part of it is I've mostly responded to some people who've been responding to him. With every update, tweak, and clarification that YouTube has pushed out in the last 40 hours, they drive more harassment and vitriol against LGBT creators. No, just Carlos. Just Carlos. No, they don't drive harassment and vitriol against LGBT creators. Just Carlos. Because Carlos is my number one FTG of the day. Can I get an FTG in the chat for Carlos Maza, please? Give me an FTG. I just thought, hey, now I'm pretty sure. Oh, by the way, you know what would be awesome, and I'm not advocating this, but it would just be fascinating and awesome. And if now Carlos Maza, he's a public figure, and he is an advocate for milkshaking, right? Well, I think, now let me see if I can find, I wonder if his milkshake, let's go Carlos Maga, or Maza, M-A-Z-A, milkshake. Let's see if we can find that, oops, milkshake. Milkshake them all. Here, milkshake them all. Da-da-da-da. Oh, apparently he deleted it, but it's been archived. Here we go. Yeah. So he wrote this. Okay, so it was a response. Getting doused in a milkshake. Rob's. Oh, because he was that. It was that stupid New Republic article where they were saying, you know, the virtue of milkshaking. And so he's saying, milkshake them all, humiliate them in every term, make them dread public organizing. I wonder if Carlos Maza ever goes out in public. And I would never advocate this, but apparently milkshaking is something that, you know, that you would do if you were going to go and try to publicly humiliate someone. I wonder, would it be just poetic if all of a sudden Carlos Maga was the most milkshaked man in America? I mean, that would be amazing. I am not asking you to do that. Do not suggest that. But yeah, I would not be shocked one bit if all of a sudden everywhere Carlos Maza goes, someone throws a milkshake at him. It would be, I would watch it, and I would hope somebody would videotape it, because I would watch that and go, that's exactly what I would do. I would just laugh, because, I mean, he seems to be the guy who encourages that kind of thing, right? Am I right? Am I right? Oh man, who else is talking about our friend FTG? Can y'all, let me get an extra FTG. Did I think I'm real do something like that? Say getting hit with a milkshake wouldn't be such a bad thing. Yes, he did. And I had a conversation with him about that. Because I'm like, yeah, it's still legally assault. You still get arrested for it. In fact, that dude, that was it. The congressman from Florida recently, Matt Schaub, what's his last name? Anyway, someone hit him the other day, and they arrested them, and they're gonna file charges against them. Because you know what? Don't go around. You never know what's in that milkshake. What if someone had a milkshake, but they put some rocks in it, or they, put some acid in the bottom of it, or something? Just don't assault people. Don't assault people. Let's see. He's gone full authoritarian. He just has. And it's just whatever, man. Hi, Max Del Rio. Did I say hello yet? Were you here earlier? Okay. Good morning, sir. And I think I got everybody here. So anyway, now. Moving on. Now, I actually do have a couple other. Here, let's get out of this. I actually do have a couple other FTGs today. Kind of minor ones, but Carlos is number one in my book today. He just is. And you know, there are those out there defending him, saying, oh yeah, you know, Stephen was abusive. You know, here's one last thing about this. So Carlos puts out this video. Let me see if they even have it. Anyone has that copy that's in here. I'll just scroll and see if I can find it while I'm talking to you. But so he has a video of all the Hank Green. Good God. Hank Green's defending YouTube. Anyway, so he puts out this video of the... Here, let's find him. I'll just find him myself. Where is it? Gaywonk. Here we go. Let's find this video that he put out of Crowder doing the abusive things that he's, you know, saying he did. You know, so he has this 2-minute video of the times that Crowder said mean things about him. Okay? But as far as percentage of the content that he was, because his claim is that, here, let me find it. I'm sorry. There's and they're all talking about the money. Oh, YouTube's just hating on gays for money. God damn it, where is the... So yeah, he's so full of shit. Here's one of his tweets. Good Lord, YouTube says it didn't punish Crowder because he was focused primarily on debate. Didn't punish Crowder because he was primarily on debating when he repeatedly called me lispy queer. You can harass queer people as much as you want as long as it's sandwiched between debating. So he's making it sound like the purpose. Where's the one that really pissed me off? You know, like for example, the Washington Post headline: a right-wing YouTuber, because they got to get in the word. They got to get in the buzzwords. Right-wing YouTuber. YouTuber is a buzzword now too, though. YouTuber is a dirty word in the media because the media is their competition right now for, you know, for news, entertainment, for everything. YouTube is a competitor, and they don't like it. The legacy media is dying a slow death, and it's not because the new media or YouTube or these other social platforms are better. I'm not saying they're better. You know. In fact, most of new media wouldn't exist without some of the work of the old legacy media. But the problem is, they don't like the fact that people can talk about their own opinions. They want to be the gatekeepers of opinions, and they're losing that. They're losing that to so many other outlets. That's why Vox is going to hell in a handbasket. They're losing money left and right. They got $200 million. I think, who did they get that from? From I think Disney. No, that was the Vert. No, that was the other one. Something else that started with V. They're getting all this investment from these, you know, huge media companies. But the investment is not paying off for these huge media companies. And a lot of these online outlets are starting to, you know, they're laying people off. They're starting to like contract writers and things like that. And they're laying off their full-time writers because they're not generating any revenue. Nobody, and this guy, I mean, his videos are a joke. And in fact, I think, you know what? I really didn't care about this guy, and I didn't spend a lot of time on Vox, but I think I've got a new calling, because being not monetized, I think maybe I'm not monetized anyway, so I don't care what YouTube does, and I certainly could spend time focusing on this young man, and I don't care about his sexuality. I'm not an odd hom guy. And even though sometimes odd homs are funny, they are. Even stereotypes are funny. That's why comedians usually joke about stereotypes. I don't care with this guy though. I don't give a shit about his sexuality. I don't give a shit that he is Cuban or whatever he is. But he makes shitty arguments. And I think maybe, I've been talking about getting back into making videos. He might be my number one subject now. I might just, and guess what? I won't break a single YouTube rule. Not one, because I won't call him a lispy queer like Steven Crowder does, quote unquote. And if they don't like what I'm talking about, they can't demonetize me, because I'm never going to monetize my channel anyway. If I get 100,000 subscribers, I'm not going to monetize my channel. I've decided that now. Now, I'd be happy to have 1,000 right now, but if I ever even get up, that 1,000 subscriber threshold to be monetized, I thought, God, that would be great. The only reason I want to get to that is so that I can do my streams mobily on my phone. But if I never monetize my channel, guess what? YouTube will never monetize. YouTube won't make any money off me either. So why would I monetize my channel? In fact, I think most creators should just go ahead and demonetize their own channels if they can. Unless it's a important revenue stream. If you're making a living off YouTube and you still can, and they haven't come after you, fine. But if you are a YouTube channel that a vast majority of your videos get demonetized anyway, or restricted or whatever, and you're not making ad revenue from it, go the Patreon route, go the PayPal links, do that. If you have a healthy enough following, you should be able to at least make some revenue from it. And now, unless it's your only source of revenue, but I would say, you know what? I think channels should demonetize themselves. Just leave the program. Then YouTube won't be running ads on your content, right? And YouTube won't be making money off it either. You know what? Fine. YouTube, die a slow death. Who cares? You know what? We'll start using more alternative media. There's plenty popping up now. And hopefully, some of these alternative media areas will survive. YouTube's, I understand the hard place that YouTube's in, because Woke Inc. Is, although very small, is very powerful. But you know what? Fuck Woke Inc. In fact, can I get an FTG for YouTube and Woke Inc. as I stream on their platform? Anyway, one of the things that he said that really, really pissed me off, and that was the beginning of this entire thing, and maybe I can find it here. It's probably the first one. No, that's not. It's the Punisher Crowder. Here it is. To be crystal clear, YouTube has decided that targeted racist and homophobic harassment does not violate its policies against hate speech or harassment. No, they did not say that. Okay? Because you're calling it targeted and racist homophobic harassment does not make it targeted racist and homophobic harassment. His claim in the beginning, I have spent 2 years getting targeted by racist and homophobic abuse from one of YouTube's star creators. No, he's been attacking you for your ideas. Now, has he made questionable jokes about your sexuality and, heritage based on things that you constantly say? Because I know in most of your videos you make sure to tell everybody you're gay, as if we didn't know after the 30th video you made. Okay, we know you're gay wonk. Your name on Twitter is gay wonk. You make sure that everybody knows. Okay, and that's part of the joke, is that you constantly talk about you being gay, but it doesn't make your arguments any better. It doesn't make your logic any better. It doesn't make your videos any better because you're gay. Oh, he's gay? He immediately has more credibility now. No, you don't, dude. Good God. So, does it mean you're super happy? And the Let's Be Queer. You know how he came up with that? Because you called yourself a queer in a video. Okay? But guess what? Are his videos centered around the fact that you're gay? Is that what the main point in any of the videos he's done about you been? Okay. I don't think so. No, I haven't seen all of them. I watch some Crowder videos, but I mostly the ones where he's out on campuses talking to students. But as far as I know, they're not about, that's not what his videos are about. His videos are about your stupid videos, which are dumb. I've seen some of your videos, dude. They're dumb. I know I'm talking. I know you're not. I know Gaywalk's not talking to me. I'm talking to my own audience here, but still. Gaywalk is the perfect illustration of how getting everything you ever wanted still doesn't make you happy. Yeah. Well, no, because he hasn't gotten everything he wanted. He wants us gone. And I say us because I'm saying I'm a creator who doesn't agree with his ideology. He wants us gone. And it's particularly his goal here on a 5-day, 6-day full court press, using every tactic that he learned with his experience at Media Matters and his, at Vox, with what's his name, Klein, whatever the hell his name is, who also was a Media Matters guy. They know how to get people taken down. And he's got Sleeping Giants on his side, and he's got the Washington Post on his side, and he's got the Verge on his side, and he's got woke Twitter on his side, and he's got, the Red Tube on his side. And they're just going to campaign one after one. And a lot of people said, you know what? When, what did Maddie say? Mazda is, I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh, baby. I was about to say Hotep's been told you, because that's what Hotep Jesus would say. When they took Alex Jones off, everybody warned you, didn't they? Everybody warned you. Everybody warned you when they took Alex Jones off that this is how it's going to work. Okay, Alex Jones is a bit of a crackpot. Some of his stuff is so out there, and some of it, it's a lot of the conspiracy shit, whatever. But was he actually breaking terms of service for YouTube? And if he was, why would you consider that? Why would you say that it was breaking terms of service? But they said, okay, oh, no. It's just Alex Jones. He's a crackpot. He's way out there. Oh, now this guy gets Steven Crowder. Now, granted, again, it's just monetization with Steven Crowder. They haven't kicked him off the platform. But is it coming? Now, Crowder can survive. Crowder has over 3 million. He probably, I bet, I'm going to guess, Streisand effect. Crowder has probably sold more mug clubs this week than his entire career. Steven Crowder can go to his website. He can still use other platforms and do it from his website and stay in contact with his mug club people and still make a hell of a living and still, and support the 12 to 15 employees he has who work for him, who produce that. Okay. His business model is probably safe, because I don't think he was making a lot of money from YouTube itself. I think his YouTube revenue has been dying for, a couple years now, because they've been chipping at him on the monetization end of it. So his Patreon and his mug club and whatever else he does, I'm sure that's how he makes his living. And now, see, it's funny because Maza, what the hell is his fucking name? Carlos Maza. When they said, okay, we're gonna demonetize Steven Crowder. I hope you didn't hear that. Demonetize Crowder's channel. He's like, well, that's not enough. He makes shirts on that Communism for Fig shirt. He sells merchandise. He makes millions. I laughed at that too. He makes millions. Where's that tweet? I got that one here. Hang on. Where's that? Here we go. Put that up here. Here's demonetization doesn't work. Oh my gosh. You know what just crossed my mind? When I looked at this, it didn't even dawn on me. Carlos Maza culturally appropriated that clap thing between words. That's a black woman thing. Carlos Maza's using cultural appropriation. Anyway, demonetization doesn't work. Abusers use it as proof they're being discriminated against, quote unquote. Then they make millions off of selling merch, doing speaking gigs, and getting their followers to support them on Patreon. Well, first of all, most small creators don't make money, hardly at all, and they're not out selling. But if you can't sell millions off selling merch, that just gave me an idea. I think, socialism is for figs. It's a joke. It was, I mean, but it alludes to something that's very nefarious. By the way, Che Guevara, remember the shirt, the Che Guevara shirt? Yeah, Che Guevara. You know that he jailed and killed homosexuals in Cuba during the Cuban Revolution, right? Y'all know that, right? So all these people wearing Che Guevara shirts. That dude was a murderous thug. Anyway, the ad revenue isn't the problem. It's the platform. But he also was complaining. Yeah, so he's talking about the merchandise. So now they want, now the good thing is that YouTube has no way to go after his mug club, because he doesn't do that through YouTube. He doesn't do the mug club through YouTube. He doesn't sell his merch through YouTube. Although he had a link to it on YouTube, which they took away. And now one of his vendors will know, as I said, they'll no longer sell the shirt either. Yeah, he sent him to work camps and execute him. Yep, that's what he did. That's what he did. I just, fuck that guy. All right, I got to move on, because I could ramble about this jackass for a long time, but I'm not going to do it. We're going to move on. I do have a couple other FTGs for the day, and they're pretty minor ones compared to Carlos Maza. I'm gonna start calling him. His nickname from now on is Milkshake. Milkshake Maza. I'm sorry. I know it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be a video in the next, 30 days that someone takes of Carlos Maza taking a milkshake right to the chest, and I'm not talking about that kind of milkshake, you perverts. Anyway, moving on. Next one today, Hollywood actress Bette Midler advocates for stabbing Trump and stays on Twitter. Yeah, social media rules are different for us peons, and especially us peons who have all the wrong opinions like yours truly. But Hollywood star and left-wing advocate Bette Midler suggested that someone in Donald Trump's team should shiv or stab him in a late-night tweet Wednesday. He actually looks better here, talking about his trip to this church. He actually looks better here. Maybe someone in his camp can gently give him a shiv. I mean, shove, Midler said in a now deleted social media post. Her tweet was in response to Michael Moore's comment on Trump's surprise visit to a Virginia Baptist church. Seriously, what the fuck is this? What the White House said was a memorial for the 12 shot dead in Virginia Beach. It wasn't. Trump, looking nothing like Trump, randomly wanders onto the altar and in his golf shoes and cap, decides to stay there for 15 minutes, then leaves, having thrown his curve at reality. That's Michael Moore. Now, as far as Bette Midler, though, Twitter rules outline zero tolerance policy for prohibiting the advocacy or praise for violence on their platform. So, you know what? Twitter rules have zero tolerance, and yet Carlos Maza advocates assaulting people. That should be shouted to the rooftops. I think he finally, I think he might have deleted that finally. He got a lot of shit about that, but you know what? Yeah. Anyway, we will not tolerate behavior that encourages or incites violence against a specific person or group of people. We also take action against content that glorifies acts of violence in a manner that may inspire others to replicate those violent acts and cause real offline danger, or where people were targeted because of their potential membership in a protected category. Now this, let's talk about that line in the terms of service. I'm going to repeat the line that I take issue with. Or where people were targeted because of their potential membership in a protected category. That's a very interesting piece of wording that I've noticed in some of these different terms of services, where, you know, they're worried about people who are targeted because of their potential membership in a protected category. So when you're talking, like, for example, YouTube was defining hate speech, you know, and it was defining hate speech as someone who's, you know, or no, it wasn't the hate speech. It was, you know, what's against their rules, and hate or threats of violence towards people in protected categories. Wait a minute. So only people in protected categories are protected from hate and threats of violence? If you're not in a protected category, you're not protected against that. So it's okay to do violence against someone who's not in a protected category. Do you see where I'm going here? So basically, you can threaten the white boys, right? You can threaten. They just threatened to murder a white boy. Trump's a white boy. It doesn't matter. That's not against. Oh no, that one was directed at a specific person, I guess. So maybe that is against their terms of service. But you know what? Bette Midler's still on Twitter, so it must not be against their terms of service. Yeah. But it's against the Secret Service. I bet the Secret Service might have interest in that. Midler's late night rant comes just a few hours after Trump called the Hollywood princess a washed-up psycho for falsely attributing a made-up quote to him. Oh man, Trump just never ever he won't let anything slide, and you know, sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad, but it's always entertaining. Washed up psycho Bette Midler was forced to apologize for a statement she attributed to me that turned out to be totally fabricated by her in order to make your great president look really bad. Why'd he put that in parentheses? I don't know, he may have been an okay student in college or whatever it is, but he puts the weirdest punctuation out there once in a while. Anyway, Trump said she got caught just like the fake news media gets caught. A sick scammer. This wouldn't be the first time Midler has been caught advocating for violence against Trump and other conservative political figures. In February last year, Midler said she needed Rand Paul's neighbor. An obvious reference to the attack on Republican Senator Rand Paul in his front yard, which resulted in 5 broken ribs. It says, so she tweeted out, "Where's Rand Paul's neighbor when we need him?" And in a now deleted tweet from last November, she called for former special counsel Robert Mueller to hang Trump and his family. Trump, Trump, Trump. Bob Mueller's marching. Trump, Trump, Trump. And here's why. Trump, Trump, Trump. He's gonna hang you. Hang the family good and high. Wow. And then they just mentioned, Twitter permanently banned Gavin McInnes and several other accounts linked to far-right Western chauvinist group called the Proud Boys for a repeated history of inciting violence.